Ever wondered why people say get into gear when they want to start something quickly? Or why someone might throw a spanner in the works? Today we're diving into the colorful world of machine-related idioms, bringing clarity to these fascinating expressions. First up, get into gear. This phrase is derived from the mechanics of a car. When you shift a car into gear, you're preparing it to move. Similarly, when someone tells you to get into gear, they're encouraging you to start moving or working on a task. For example, the project deadline is fast approaching, so the team needs to get into gear. Next, we have a backseat driver. It's a phrase we use to describe someone who gives unwanted advice or tries to control something they're not responsible for. Picture a passenger in a car constantly telling the driver what to do. That's a backseat driver. An example could be, my boss is always a backseat driver during our team meetings. Our third idiom, put the brakes on, comes straight from driving a vehicle. When you put the brakes on a car, it slows down or stops. Similarly, when you put the brakes on something, you're slowing down or stopping a process. For instance, when the budget cuts were announced, we had to put the brakes on our marketing campaign. Moving on to let off steam. This phrase comes from the world of steam engines. When too much pressure builds up, they need to let off steam to avoid damage. Using this phrase, we metaphorically release our pent-up stress or anger. For example, after a tough day at work, I let off steam by going for a run. Ever get your lines or wires crossed? This phrase originated from old telephone lines. When wires crossed, the messages got mixed up. So, when we say we got our wires crossed, we're admitting to a misunderstanding. For instance, we must have got our lines crossed. I thought the meeting was tomorrow. Next, give someone a buzz. In the past, telephones used to make a buzzing sound when ringing. So, when you give someone a buzz, you're simply giving them a call. Here's an example. I'll give you a buzz later to discuss the details. Our penultimate idiom, throw a spanner in the works, refers to causing a disruption or problem. A spanner is a tool, and if you were to literally throw one into a machine, it would likely stop working. For example, the sudden power outage threw a spanner in the works of our plans. Lastly, in the pipeline. This phrase refers to something being in the process or under development, much like how oil or gas moves through a pipeline towards its final destination. For instance, we have several exciting projects in the pipeline. And there you have it. 8 machine-related idioms explained. From getting into gear to having something in the pipeline, these phrases add color and intrigue to our everyday language. As you continue your language learning journey, remember these idioms and try to incorporate them into your conversations. They'll certainly add a touch of sophistication to your English.